So while Trump is trying to negotiate peace, it seems like some folks just simply don't want it. Okay, we got to talk about the UK's Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. He recently came out with an interesting statement, which I guess is good in a way, but then also very terrible. And I'll explain why after we hop into this clip. But with that being said, let's dive in.
First, we will keep the military aid flowing and keep increasing the economic pressure on Russia to strengthen Ukraine now. Second, we agreed that any lasting peace must ensure Ukraine's sovereignty and security, and Ukraine must be at the table. Third, in the event of a peace deal, we will keep boosting Ukraine's own defensive capabilities to deter any future invasion. Fourth, we will go further to develop a coalition of the willing to defend a deal in Ukraine and to guarantee the peace. Not every nation will feel able to contribute, but that can't mean that we sit back. Instead, those willing will intensify planning now with real urgency. The UK is prepared to back this with boots on the ground and planes in the air. Together with others, Europe must do the heavy lifting. But to support peace in our continent and to succeed, this effort must have strong US backing. We're working with the US on this point after my meeting with President Trump last week. And let me be clear, we agree with the President on the urgent need for a durable peace. Now we need to deliver together. Finally, we agreed that leaders will meet again very soon to keep the pace behind these actions and to keep working towards this shared plan. We are at a crossroads in history today. This is not a moment for more talk. It's time to act, time to step up and lead, and to unite around a new plan for a just and enduring peace. Thank you.
Yeah. So while Trump is trying to negotiate peace, this guy comes out and says, oh no, we are going to back Ukraine with not only boots on the ground, but also planes in the air, and this is why I said it's good and bad at the same time. Obviously, when you're trying to negotiate peace and then someone comes out and says something like that, that's a little provoking. That doesn't sound like you want peace. That sounds like you want to keep this thing going. But it's also good because finally, maybe they'll carry their own weight. Maybe, we don't have to come try to save everybody and they'll actually step up and do something, right? It's easy. It's very easy. And, this is the funny thing, too. If you caught it at the end, he said that they're going to need help from us still, even if they're going to step up. And that's the thing. This is the thing. It's easy to talk shit when you know you're not going to get punched in the face. Here's an example. We've all seen people getting ready to fight, right? Getting in each other's face, yelling, they look like they're about to do something and they don't. But then somebody comes up and breaks the two people up and, one person gets pulled away. And we've all seen that moment where the person that's getting pulled away that was just in the other person's face and could have swung. That's when they start going crazy. Like, let me go, let me go, let me go. Comment below if you've seen that moment. I've definitely seen those quite a few times. And like I said, it's easy to do that when you know you're not going to get punched in the face. You know you're getting broken up. People are in between both of you now, so it's easy to be like, oh yeah, let me go, let me at him. But you already had an opportunity to do something. I feel like this is a similar situation. You have the opportunity to go fight them. If you want to keep this war going, go fight them. Go fight them yourselves. We're going to sit on the sidelines and watch. Get your popcorn ready, I guess. It's also even funnier when these types of comments are coming from a guy that punches like this.
Okay, yes, this is good. And again, that's it. And again, try and breathe, relax. That's it. What a pair of gloves.
Walking into PMQs.
Okay, yes, this is good. And again, that's it. And again, try and breathe, relax.
Bro, really? Really? A 6-year-old could punch harder than that. Legit. A 6-year-old could punch harder than that. you know, that's why I agree with Trump's statement when he made that statement about Liz Cheney. Like, it's easy to send somebody else's kids to war to die, but why don't you go fight? How would you feel if you had guns pointed at your face? It'd be a totally different story. Could you imagine that guy going to war? He'd be pissing all down his leg. Goodness gracious, can't even box. Like, sheesh. Learn how to punch at least. Like, that's bare minimum. Bare minimum. Just learn how to punch. Like, come on, bro.
Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning.
I know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about
if you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
you invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak-
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
That's facts. That's facts. Without our help, they would have gotten crushed. Crushed. Even with the rest of NATO backing them, I'm not even sure they could possibly do it. Right? It's all fine and dandy because obviously some of these countries have like free healthcare and whatnot, but how much money are you contributing to defense? Once you have to contribute what the U.S. contributes to defense, all of those nice little programs you have for your citizens to keep them happy, I guarantee you they're going out the window. Guarantee it. And so, yeah, man, listen, I am not mad at Trump for finally saying, you know what, this has gotten ridiculous. People have died, and it's time to end this. But of course, since Trump says it, it's a bad thing. And, you know, also, I came across this clip from a guy who was walking around the UK. And of course, Keir Starmer said that he's going to put boots on the ground. Well, this guy went to the UK and started asking some folks, would you actually fight for your country? Check out their answers.
You guys live in the UK?
Yeah, we do.
Would you join the military?
No, we're not from this country.
If they say it's compulsory, what would you do?
I'll just go back to Egypt. Go back to my country. No, I'll just go back to my country.
First of all, I'm not a UK citizen, I'm an immigrant.
I'm Welsh.
No, unfortunately not. I'm not from this country originally, you know?
Where are you from?
Brazil.
Do you live here?
Yes.
Would you go to war for this country?
No.
I'm Pakistani, so
Are you a resident?
I'm a resident. I've got dual nationality.
You guys live in the UK?
Yeah.
Seems like you got a lot of immigrants there that don't give a rat's you-know-what about that country. So you think you're going to have enough boots to put on that ground, but we shall see. We shall see. Okay, I think you might have a little trouble, buddy. You might have a little trouble putting them boots on that ground, okay? Unless you're going to war yourself. And of course, that will never happen. But I do think that should be a major change in how, war is waged. Some of these leaders have to go to war themselves. That's how I feel. I guarantee you, if leaders of countries had to go to war themselves, there'd be a whole lot less war going on. If Keir Starmer had to stand on the front line with his troops and those brave men, I guarantee you he wouldn't come out and say, yeah, we're going to put boots on the ground. Because he'll realize, oh, that means my boots too. It's easy to say that when you're sitting in a comfortable office somewhere. These are men that are dying, people's sons, some people's brothers, uncles, cousins, etc. And they're just being used as like little toys or something that it's almost as if some of these leaders think we're playing a game of Call of Duty or something. And once you die, get a bullet put in your head, you get to respawn. Like, no, you're cooked. You're done. Once your lights are off, they don't come back on. You're getting put 6 feet in the dirt. Stuff is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. And like I said, and they always accuse Trump of being somebody's puppet or something simply because he's like, no, let's stop this bloodshed. Like, I thought ending war was a good thing, but I guess if it's Trump that says it, it's a terrible thing. Prime Minister from Poland, Donald Tusk, had something very interesting to say that I want to play for you guys, and he's actually on point. Check it out.
Proszę Państwa, jest taki paradoks i ktoś słusznie zauważył, że I zobaczcie, jak to brzmi. 500 milionów Europejczyków prosi 300 milionów Amerykanów, żeby oni ich obronili przed 140 milionami Rosjan. Chcę się powtórzyć tylko te słowa. Umiesz liczyć, to licz na siebie. Zacznij liczyć na siebie. Nie w odosobnieniu, ale z pełną świadomością własnego potencjału. Europa, jeśli czegoś dzisiaj nam brakuje, to przecież nie przewagi gospodarczej czy ludnościowej, tylko wiary w to, że jesteśmy naprawdę globalną potęgą. Proszę Państwa, jest taki paradoks i
completely on point. 500 million Europeans are asking 300 million Americans to defend them against 140 million Russians. But it also shows how powerful we really are. I mean, in all reality, this is like a comedy skit, right? A lot of comedians have ran with this tagline, but I definitely think it's true. In reality, bro, all we need to do is send the rednecks in the war. Bro, they cleaning house. They cleaning the house. If we have a foreign country invade our soil, just send the rednecks in there. They cleaning house. And some of you have probably heard that skit. You know, the military will show up and all they'll see is beer cans and shotgun shells. You know, like, man, that doesn't even count the rest of the country, right? That's willing to fight as well. You just send the rednecks in, bro. Hey, it's cleaned out. Cleaned out. Cooked. Like I said, the military's going to pull up afterwards, ready to fight, you know, ready to go to war. And hey, it's just a bunch of beer cans and shotgun shells everywhere. And, you know, the troops from the other country, they all cooked. They ready to get put 6 feet in the dirt. Okay, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to keep it PG here. But yeah, you know, the sentiment in this country is also changing as well in terms of how many people actually want this thing to continue happening.
Well, I think the easiest way we can kind of just ask this is, do Americans like the way that Trump's handling his job and compare it to how they felt about Joe Biden? So this is the net approval rating. You look at Joe Biden back in 2024, he was 22 points underwater. Holy cow. You look at Donald Trump, it's just a different planet entirely. I mean, the gulf between these two is wider than the Gulf of America or Mexico, depending on which side of the aisle you stand on. He's at +2.
That number's higher than that.
Look, at this particular point, Americans are giving Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt. He's doing considerably better than Joe Biden was doing on the handling of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And so on this simple question, I think Americans are saying, okay, Donald Trump's doing all right on this.
What about specifically on how they feel about bringing the war to an end?
Yeah, okay. So, you know, look, questions on this can be quite complicated, but I think this kind of gets at sort of where the American trend line is. Americans on the Russia-Ukraine war want a quicker end of the war, but Russia keeps its captured land. Look at this, 50%. Bare majority coming in here. Support Ukraine's right to fight, even if it means a longer war. That's at 48. This is very, very close. But the trend line on this question is so important because that want a quick end of the.
And I know I'm being biased here, but I definitely don't think these numbers are that close. Do I think there are, you know, a number of people who want this thing to keep going in this country? Yeah, but I think this number is probably in the high 30s rather than the upper 40s. And this number is probably in the low 60s right here. So a clear majority of the country thinks that this should end. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think?
The war. Look at this. You go back to August of 2022, it was at 31%. Now we're at 50%. I mean, that is a rocket ship upwards in terms of the Americans who want a quick end to the war, even if it means Russia keeps the captured Ukraine land.
Yeah, so the American sentiment has completely changed, where most everybody, in my humble opinion, I believe most everybody, and according to their own poll, most people want this thing to end and to end quickly. But also, whatever Russia's captured so far, they get to keep, and let's just end this thing. Let's just wash our hands with this whole situation. So, like, if European leaders want to keep this going, which it kind of sounds like they do, they're going to be left to fight on their own. And that's going to be really, really interesting to watch play out, considering how little they want to spend on defense. And if America stops spending, you know, to help these countries out, I don't know. It's going to get real interesting. But I think ultimately, ultimately, this is all just talk, right? This is all just, putting on a show for some odd reason. I don't think ending a war is a bad thing, but like I said, it's Trump. So, of course, they're going to try to paint it as something bad or something negative. But I think ultimately this will end. Everybody will come back to the table. Zelensky will come back to his senses because I don't know, man. That brother seems like he's been tripping. He's been stepping in it lately. But I think ultimately he'll come back to the table. He'll sign the mineral deal, and we'll get this war ended immediately. That's just my prediction. But what do you think? Let me know. Peace and love. I'm out.